Chapter 31. Jacob leaves Laban. Okay. And Jacob heard the words of Laban's son, saying, Jacob has taken away all that was our fathers, and all that which our fathers, he has acquired all of this wealth. 2. And Jacob saw that Laban's countenance toward him was not as it had been yesterday and the day before. 3. The Lord said to Jacob, return to the land of your fathers and your kindred, and I will be with you. So Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah to the field to his flock. 5. And he said to them, I see that your father's countenance toward me is not as it had been yesterday and the day before, but the God of my father has been with me. 6. And you know that I have worked for your father with all of my strength. 7. And yet your father has deceived me and changed my wages 10 times, but God has not permitted him to hurt me. 8. If he said thus, the speckled shall be your wages, then all the flock bore speckled. And if he said thus, the spotted shall be your wages, then all the flock bore spotted. 9. Thus God has selected some of your father's cattle and given them to me. 10. And it came to pass, at the time when the sheep conceived, I lifted up my eyes and saw in a dream, and behold, the rams that leaped upon the sheep were speckled, spotted, and striped. 11. And the angel of the Lord said to me in a dream, and I said, here I am. Said to me, Jacob, and I said, here I am. 12. Then he said, lift up now your eyes and see, all the rams that leap upon the sheep are speckled, spotted, and ring-streaked. For I have seen all that Laban has done to you. 13. I'm the God of Bethel. The place where you anointed a pillar to me, now arise, get out from this land, and return to the land of your kindred. 14. And Rachel and Leah answered and said to him, we have no portion or inheritance in our father's house. 15. We are counted by him as strangers, for he has sold us, and has squandered also our money. 16. For all the riches which God has selected from our father belong to us and our children. Now, then, whatever God has said to you, do it. 17. Then Jacob rose up and set his sons and his wives on camels. 18. And he carried away all his cattle and all his wealth which he had gained in Padan Aram, to go to Isaac his father in the land of Canaan. 19. Now Laban went to shear his sheep, and Rachel stole the images that belonged to her father. 20. And Jacob deceived Laban the Aramean, in that he did not tell him that he was going. 21. So he fled with all that he had, and rose up and crossed the river, and set his face toward Mount Gilead. 22. And it was told to Laban on the third day that Jacob has fled. 23. And he took his brethren with him and pursued after him 7 days' journey, and they overtook him on Mount Gilead. 24. And God came to Laban the Aramean in a dream by night, and said to him, take heed that you speak not to Jacob either good nor bad. 25. Then Laban overtook Jacob. Now Jacob had pitched his tent on the mount, and Laban with his brethren encamped on Mount Gilead. And 26. And Laban said to Jacob, what have I done to you that you have deceived me and carried away my daughters Jacob leaves Laban, daughters, as though they were captives taken with the sword. 27. Why did you flee secretly and deceive me and did not tell me? For I would have sent you away with joy and songs and with harp and tambourine. "28. And you did not permit me to give a farewell kiss to my sons and my daughters. Now you have done foolishly in doing so. 29. I could have done you harm, but the God of your fathers said to me last evening, take heed that you speak not to Jacob either good or bad. 30. And now you are on your way because you longed for your father's house. Yet why did you steal my gods? 31. Because Jacob answered and said to Laban, because I was afraid, for I said perhaps you would take your daughters from me by force. 32. With whomsoever you find your gods, he shall not live. Moreover, in the presence of our brethren, point out whatever I have that belongs to you and take it for yourself. For Jacob did not know that Rachel had stolen them. 33. And Laban went into Jacob's tent, and into Leah's tent, and into the tent of the two maidservants, but did not find the gods. So he went out of Leah's tent into Rachel's. 34. Now Rachel had taken the images and put them in the cattle sagging bag and sat upon them. And Laban had searched all the tent, but did not find them. 35. And Rachel said to her father, let it not displease my lord, that I cannot rise up before you, for I am with child. Nevertheless, he searched, but did not find the images. 36. And Jacob was displeased and argued with Laban. And Jacob answered and said to Laban, what is my trespass? What is my fault, that you have hotly pursued after me? 37. Behold, you have searched all my baggage, and what have you found of all your household articles? Put it here before my brethren and your brethren, they may judge between us both. 38. Behold, I have been with you these past 20 years. Your ewes and your she-goats have not cast their young. I have not eaten of the rams of your flock. 39. That which was torn by wild beasts I never brought to you. I bore the loss of it. Of my hand you did require it. Otherwise, likewise, that which was stolen by day or by the night. 40. Thus by day I was scorched by heat, and at night I suffered from cold, and my sleep departed from my eyes. 41. Behold, I have been 20 years in your house. I served you 14 years for your 2 daughters, and 6 years for your flock, and you have changed my wages 10 times. 42. If it had not been for the God of my father, the God of Abraham, and your regard for Isaac, which have surely been on my side, surely you would have sent me away now empty. God saw my toil and the labor of my hands and rebuked you last evening. "43. Then Laban answered and said to Jacob, these daughters are my daughters, and these children are my children, and the flocks are my flocks, and all that you see is mine. Now what can I do this day for these my daughters, or for their children whom they have borne?" 44. Now therefore, come then, let us make a covenant, you and I, and let it be for a witness between me and you. So Jacob took a stone and set it up for a pillar. 46. And Jacob said to his brethren, gather stones, and they took stones and made a heap, and they did eat there upon the heap. 47. And Laban called it Jegar Sahadatha, the pillar of witness, but Jacob called it Gilead. 48. And Laban said, this heap is a witness between me and you this day. Therefore he called its name Gilead. 49. And a watchtower, for he said, let the Lord watch between me and you, because we are parting from one another. 50. If you despise my daughters, or if you shall take other wives besides my daughters, now no man is with us. God only is a witness between me and you.
Unwind to world sounds. SBS Chill.
51. And Laban said to Jacob, behold this heap, and behold this pillar, which I have set between me and you. 52. This heap is a witness, and this pillar is a witness, that I will not pass over this pillar against you, and that you shall not pass over this pillar against me, or this heap for harm. 53. The God of Abraham and the God of Nahor and the God of our fathers judge between us. And Jacob swore by the reverence of his father Isaac. 54. Then Jacob offered a sacrifice on the mountain, and invited his brethren to eat bread, and they did eat food and spent the night on the mountain. And early in the morning Laban rose up and kissed his grandsons and his daughters and blessed them. Then Laban returned and went to his country. Chapter 32. And Jacob went on his journey, and the angels of God met him. 2. And when Jacob saw them, he said, this is God's host. So he called the name of that place Mahanaim. 3. And Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau his brother, to the land of Seir, the country of Edom. 4. And he commanded them, saying, thus you shall speak to my lord Esau. Thus says your servant Jacob, I've sojourned with Laban and stayed there until now. 5. I have oxen, asses, flocks, men servants, maid servants, and I have sent to tell my lord, that I may find mercy in your sight. 6. And the messengers returned to Jacob, saying, we came to your brother Esau, and behold, he is also coming to meet you, and 400 men with him. 7. And Jacob was afraid and greatly distressed, and he divided the people that were with him, and the flocks and herds and camels into 2 groups. And Jacob said, if my brother Esau should come against one group and destroy it, then the other group which is left shall escape. Jacob fears Esau. 9. And Jacob prayed and said, to God of my father Abraham and God of my father Isaac, let the Lord who did it say to me, return to the land of your fathers and to your kindred, and I will deal well with you. 10. I'm not worthy of the least of all thy favors, and of all thy truth thou hast shown to thy servant, for alone with my staff I crossed over the Jordan, and I have become 2 companies. 12. And thou didst say, I will surely do you good and make your descendants numerous as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for multitude. 13. And he spent the night there, and took of that which he had with him as a present for his brother Esau. 14. 200 she-goats and 20 he-goats, 200 ewes and 20 rams. 15. 30 milch camels with their colts, 40 cows, and 10 bulls, 20 she-asses, and 10 foals. 16. And he entrusted them to his servants, every drove by itself, and said to his servants, pass over before me and keep a distance between drove and drove. 17. And he commanded the leader of the first drove and said to him, when Esau my brother meets you, ask him, saying, who are you and where are you going, and whose are these that are before you? 18. Then you shall say to him, they belong to your servant Jacob. They are present which he has sent to my lord Esau, and behold, also he is coming behind us. 19. And so he commanded the second and third, and all the followed with the droves, saying in this manner, Jacob wrestles with an angel. Okay. You shall speak to Esau when you find him. And you shall say to him, 20, and you shall say to him, moreover, behold, your servant Jacob also is behind us, for he said, I may appease him with a present that goes before me, and afterward I will see his face, and perhaps he will accept me. 21. So the present went over before him, and he lodged that night in the encampment. 22. And he rose up early in the night, and took his 2 wives, and his 2 maidservants, and his 11 sons, and led them to the desert of Jabbok. And he took them and brought them over the brook, and then he brought across everything that he had. 24. And Jacob was left alone, and their man wrestled with him until daybreak. 25. And when the man saw that he could not prevail against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint as he wrestled with him. 26. And the man said to him, let me go, for day is breaking. And he said, I will not let you go unless you bless me. 27. And he said to him, what is your name? And he said, Jacob. 28. And he said to him, your name shall no more be called Jacob, but Israel, the Prince of God. For you have proved your strength, wrestling with an angel and with man, and have prevailed. 29. And Jacob asked him and said, tell me your name. And he said, why is it that you ask my name? And the angel blessed him there. 30. And Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, for he said, I have seen an angel face to face, and my life is preserved. 31. The sun rose upon him just as he left Peniel, and he limped because of his thigh. 32. That is why the children of Israel do not eat the sinew of the hip, which is on the hollow of the thigh, to this day, because the angel touched the hollow of Jacob's thigh and the sinew of the thigh. Chapter 33. And Jacob raised his eyes and looked, and behold, Esau was coming, and with him 400 men. And he divided the children among Leah, Rachel, and the 2 maids. And then he brought the maids, their children, to the front, and Leah and her children next, and kept Rachel and Joseph in the rear. And he himself went on before them, and bowed himself to the ground 7 times until he came near to his brother. 4. And Esau ran to meet him, and embraced him, and fell on his neck, and kissed him, and they wept. 5. Then Esau raised his eyes, and saw the women and the children, and said, where did you get these? And Jacob said to him, they are the children whom God has graciously given your servant. 6. Then the maids drew near, they and their children, and they bowed themselves. And Leah also with her children. 7. Leah also with her children drew near, and bowed themselves. And afterward came Rachel and Joseph, also drew near, and bowed themselves. 8. And Esau said to Jacob, which did you get all this company which I met? Where did you get all this company which I met? And Jacob said to him, because I have found favor in the sight of my Lord. 9. Then Esau said to him, I have plenty, my brother. Keep what you have to yourself. Now accept my blessings that I have brought to you, because God is dealt graciously with me, and because I have enough. And Jacob urged him, and he did accept them. 12. Then Esau said to him, let us depart and go, and I will go before you. But Jacob said, 13. But Jacob said, my Lord knows Dinah defiled. That the 34. That the children are too young, and that the flocks and herds with young are with me. And if I should overdrive them one day, all the flock will die. 14. Now let my Lord pass before his servants, and I'll travel slowly according to the pace of the cattle which are before me, and according to the pace of the children, until I come to my Lord as seer. 15. And Esau said to him, let me leave with you some of the men that are with me. But Jacob said, what need have I for them? Let me find mercy in the sight of my Lord. 16. So Esau returned that day on his way to Seir. 17. And Jacob journeyed to Succoth and built himself a house and made sheepfolds for his cattle. Therefore he called the name of that place Succoth. 18. And Jacob said to Shalem, a city of Shechem, came to Shalem, a city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan, and he came forth from Padan Aram and encamped before the city. 19. And he bought a parcel of field from the children of Hamor, the father of Shechem, for 100 years. 20. And he pitched his tent there, and erected an altar, and called it Elah de Israel, God, the God of Israel. El Allah.